Your brain is a far more demanding tenant than you realize, and it has a much higher standard for your life than you probably do. I am telling you this with absolute certainty because I have seen it time and time again. Your brain is not satisfied with a life that is merely functional. It doesn't care if you are socially acceptable or if you are simply managing to survive and pay your bills. Your brain is an evolutionary masterpiece that craves excitement, intensity, and deep, resonant meaning. Even if you have convinced yourself that you prefer a quiet, predictable life, your biology disagrees. It demands a vital purpose. It needs a reason to pull you out of bed in the morning, a motivation so strong that even on the days when you are exhausted, sleep-deprived, or feeling physically weak, there is a spark in your mind that whispers, "Let's go. Today matters." When you fail to provide this purpose, you enter a dangerous and swampy psychological territory. See, your brain is not a conformist. It does not settle for mediocrity. When your life becomes a repetitive cycle of monotony and boredom, your brain begins to look for alternatives to fill that void. This is the moment when people often fall into destructive habits, vices, or addictions. But there is one specific vice that masquerades as something beautiful, yet it is often just as damaging: the phenomenon of limerence. Limerence is that state where someone who hasn't even earned a place in your heart suddenly occupies every corner of your mind. It is a bond that feels immensely strong, an attachment so intense that you begin to believe it must be extraordinary. You justify the obsession and the constant need for this person by telling yourself that there is something deep and cosmic between you, even if they don't see it. You might even find yourself scrolling through content about karmic debts, twin flames, or soulmates, trying to explain why you feel so much pain and longing for someone who does not return your feelings. You tell yourself that this person is here to shake your soul and wake you up. And in a way, you are right, but not for the reasons you think. This intensity is indeed here to shake you, but it isn't a sign that you should chase that person harder. It is a sign that you need to ask more of your life. It is a signal that you need to demand more of yourself and create an existence so incredible that your brain no longer needs to cling to distractions. Your brain is using this obsession as a survival mechanism, a way to provide itself with the dopamine and the mission it lacks in your actual daily life. It is an immediate, induced pleasure used to evade the reality that you are currently stagnant. You are using this person to avoid the hard work of personal and spiritual growth. Sometimes, the pain of unrequited love becomes so unbearable that you are forced into a corner. There is a phrase I love: "I loved you so much that I had to build an incredible life just to get over you." Sometimes that is exactly the path you must take. We often think that limerence is a romantic problem, but it is actually a purpose problem. When you are young, the system keeps you busy. You have school, you have chores, you have a path laid out for you. You don't have to think about meaning because your schedule is full of external demands. But once you are an adult, you are the sole architect of your existence. You and nobody else are responsible for giving your life a sense of meaning. Your brain knows this, and it refuses to just wander through the years. It needs weight. It needs a reason to exist. If you don't give it a high-quality purpose, it will settle for a low-quality obsession. I know that finding a purpose sounds daunting, but often the problem is that we are asking the wrong questions. We think purpose is about what we like or what we want to get from the world. We look at our younger selves and think, "I wanted to be an astronaut, and since I'm not, I have no purpose." But true purpose is rarely found in what we desire for ourselves. It is found in what we can offer to others. The most powerful way to heal a brain stuck in the loop of obsessive love is to shift the focus from, "How do I get them to love me?" to, "How can I be useful to the world?" When people come to me for help, they are usually tangled in a mess of magical thinking and comfort zone suffering. They have spent years justifying their pain, turning it into a badge of honor or a sign of destiny. Breaking free of that is terrifying because it means facing the fact that your life has been empty for a long time. But facing that emptiness is the only way to fill it. You have to start with the basics of self-care, moving your body, eating well, and resting, but then you must go deeper. If you don't know where to start, Start by giving yourself away. Look for a place to volunteer, a way to help animals, a social cause in your community, or even just a way to be more present for the people who actually do love you. When you move from a state of needing validation to a state of providing value, the focus of your brain shifts. You begin to understand that your existence is relevant on its own, not because of how one person perceives you. You have gifts and talents that are unique to you. No one is good at everything, but no one is bad at everything either. You might feel like you serve no purpose because your self-esteem has been crushed by this obsession, but that is a lie your brain tells you when it's starving for meaning. You might have a job that doesn't fulfill you, and that's okay for now. We all have bills to pay. But you must use your remaining time to build something that does. Don't let thoughts about your age or your past failures stop you. As long as you are breathing, you have the option to change your trajectory. I have seen people in their 50s and 60s completely reinvent themselves, finding more peace and fulfillment in a single year of purposeful living than they did in 3 decades of chasing shadows. Do not let the lazy or the fearful convince you that it's too late. They are just projecting their own limitations onto you. Believe in your capacity to change, because the obsession you feel right now is actually proof of how much passion you have inside you. You just have it pointed at the wrong target. Imagine if you took all that energy, all that time you spend analyzing texts and wondering what they think, and poured it into a mission that actually benefited the world. You would be unstoppable. Today is the day you decide that this suffering was not in vain. It was the friction required to start the fire of your new life. Use this energy to build something so beautiful that you eventually look back and thank the person who didn't love you, because their rejection was the only thing loud enough to wake you up. You owe it to yourself, and you owe it to the world, to stop being a spectator in your own life. It is time to start being the protagonist. Build a life that is so meaningful that you no longer have the space or the desire to be obsessed with someone who isn't there. This is the moment your transformation begins, and it starts with a single step towards serving a cause greater than your own pain. Take that step now, and don't look back until you've created a life that finally feels like it belongs to you.